My name is Evan Malach. I'm a singer-songwriter from Toronto, Canada. I'm super excited to be here as the leaves are falling in upstate New York, Kingston, the Hudson Valley, at Maison Bleue Studio, the home and recording facility of Malcolm Byrne, who's producing my latest project. And we are in day 2 of a 3-week journey where we're working on developing some songs I've written over the last 5 years, stories that I'm really looking forward to sharing with the world.
I swear upon the meaning of this song.
So when I walked into the studio, the first impression I get is that it has character. And all the amps, all the guitars, all the gear, it's all vintage stuff. It's been used for so many different things. It knows what things are best for. You know, this guitar is gonna be great for that sound, and this amp, and oh, maybe stop using that and try this instead. And you're like, oh wow, it sounds incredible.
The Gibson amp is great because you can get a really good bitey sound,
Yeah.
especially with the Les Paul.
Okay, cool.
But it's not like blasting the house down.
All right.
So I would suggest we'll take that little amp and I'll just put you through the Gemini to get the amp there, which doesn't need to be loud.
I set up my studio here about 15 years ago. I was quite lucky to find this house with this beautiful kind of basement space, which is ideally suited for recording and the creative process.
Malcolm, Evan, anybody, you think I should do like maybe is this more folky? Should I do the acoustic, the rods, or should I go with the sticks? What do
I
you
think
feel?
we want to rock this one
Okay.
out. Yeah.
Cool.
Like straight up,
Right? Okay.
all out.
Actually, I'm sorry, I didn't explain myself perfectly well.
Malcolm approaches record producing from a very organic point. He's very open, he's very flexible, but he's also firm in his vision. When something clicks in his mind, it's going to be executed. But he also leaves room for all the artists in the room and all the players to have their voice and have their moment. So it's very much a team effort, it's very much a collective, and the expression comes out as something cohesive.
No, for the bridge and the chords, like.
Sure, yeah. I was gonna go more John Paul Jones there.
Even more. Yeah, I don't think so.
If we have something going on and we figured something out and we have a good arrangement, he's just going to sit back and let it kind of, grow on its own. And then sometimes we'll come up with something and he has more of a vision for it than we initially had.
I think it's okay for like Evan to do pushes in
Okay,
places,
cool.
but I think if like
If Steve is gonna like any
no,
of those
he's
things
not.
that
He's
happen.
not going to do that.
Okay, perfect.
He knows what I'm going to do and not.
Great.
He's not going to do that.
Well, I think Malcolm has a different approach for every artist, to be honest. And you kind of come up and just stay open to whatever wherever the song takes you, And Malcolm will usually says, "Hey, it feels like it's going here, guys. Let's go there."
When I work with people like Evan, who's extremely talented, great songwriter, excellent singer, he delivers, he's got a background in theater as well, so he knows how to come across. But I enjoy helping create something exciting that perhaps even the artists themselves hadn't quite envisioned.
Stop before the last chorus.
On beat one.
I want everybody to play that together. So dan 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 bam, boom ba da.
On the beat though, not on the opposite.
People come to a process with a bit of an agenda, and they're like, well, this song's supposed to be like this, or it's meant to go like that. And I think it's okay to have a plan, but you might be halfway through something and you get that like eureka moment, a light goes off in your brain and you think, oh, I know what this could be. Here's an idea. Sometimes you can pick up on some little spark or something, and maybe you're not necessarily going in that direction, but if you're open to it, you can find some real diamonds out there in the dirt, artistically speaking.
2, 3, 4.
A lot of studios you go into and you're behind 2 feet of glass. Everyone is isolated, but it's an entirely different feeling when you're just trying to capture one take of the band doing it well. But listening to it has this warmth and an energy that you can feel from the performers.
It's an incredible gift to be playing with Rich and Tyler on this record. Rich and I have been together for almost 10 years as musical partners. He's a brilliant mind, an incredible guitar player, and he brings so much to the table. We've grown together as artists over the past few years, and he introduced me to Tyler a couple years ago when we've been playing around Toronto. We also have a local, Steve Decker, who's a really, really great player. The nucleus that we're building here between me, Rich, and Tyler, with Steve and Malcolm in the room helping to color that, is really turning into something special.
That's the prophet in a time machine. Prophet in a time machine. That's the prophet in a time machine. Can't tell you what your future is, won't charge you a dime.
A lot of the songs that Evan wrote for this record were written abroad. And I think that his experiences abroad, he's a pretty spiritual guy in general. His experiences going to the Middle East, Israel, and all over Europe influence the way that he writes things, and lyrical ideas and things that he sees kind of gets brought into it. I mean, that's always been the case, but there's definitely more so of a spiritual vibe in these songs. It's definitely more of a grounded project this time around, I think, because there's more of a direct line between him and what he's trying to accomplish, as opposed to taking a whole bunch of different parts from his life and putting it together to make this one record. It's like there's a vision.
This is the first time I'm doing a dual language record. I was raised learning Hebrew language in school and with a love of music and storytelling. And this project really feels like it's integrating a lot of the lessons that I've learned over my life. We're doing the songs, we're doing the mechanical recordings of them, and doing vocal takes in both English and Hebrew.
Save the world, save the world. Geula, Geula.
The message of this overall project is definitely what can I do as an individual? We all have our challenges, we all have our scars. This record is about taking all that and accepting it and integrating it into something that allows us to move forward in a way that's constructive and that makes a difference.
There's a lot of messages in the music about who we are as people and how we could be as people, and as well how we deal with trauma or happiness and all the different emotions that we're subjected to.
Music for me was kind of a world I could step into and imagine myself being somebody completely different. And I still feel that way about music, actually. I think it's not an escape necessarily, but I consider it a living, breathing experience. And I consider making records part of that. And I hope that the records that I work on have an experience that's created when people listen to them.
I really believe that the energy that we're tapping into as a band has the potential to make a real difference in people's lives, and I want to share that message with everyone.
One day, our prayers for change, everything we're waiting for. We'll stay here where
pain or anything like hate or that's what we're here for. שינויים של תיקון, ואז לא תקרב שרה ולא שנאה